On the drums, Mr. Bob Knight. On percussion and vocals, Lily Gonzalez. On guitar, Adam Evans.
Hello and welcome again to the Strange Brew podcast. My name's Jason Barnard and that was Nik Kershaw, I Won't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, live from the Shepherd's Bush Empire from 2012. And that's because I've got Nik Kershaw here on the Strange Brew to talk about his time in music, his songwriting and much more. So let's hear my chat with Nik. Is that Nik?
Hey Jason.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How you doing?
I'm great. Firstly, the important thing to cover is you've got 3 UK dates, 28th of June, Oxford, 29th of June, Norwich, and 12th of July,
Yep.
Northampton. Is that a full band show that you're doing?
Yeah, it's a full band. These shows are kind of mopping up from the tour we did in at the end of last year. We did a tour called No Glitz, Just Hits and Other Bits, which is just basically me getting on stage with a band, which I hadn't done for many years. Actually, not my own shows, not a string of my own shows. I've done loads of festivals and done my own shows in other countries, but I hadn't done it over here for about 10 years. So we did a few of those around the country last year, and these are just kind of places that we didn't cover with those gigs. So yeah, that's what these are.
Rather than a festival show, for example, these dates mean that you're able to cover a broader range of your material, given that certainly over the last few decades, you've been revitalized as a songwriter in a way.
Yeah, these are pretty much anything is possible on these gigs. It could be obviously I'm going to play the hits. I'm not an idiot. That's what a lot of people have come to hear. But also, I've had 9 albums, so there'll be bits and pieces in highlights from those as well. Yeah.
The interesting thing about your career is that you'd had time in a group called Fusion, and it took a number of years before you had chart success. So you'd certainly paid your dues.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, in fact, I was quite old when I had my first hit, relatively. So I think I joined Fusion in when I was 21, and I was there for about 3 years working with them, and that was what I considered to be my apprenticeship. Yeah, just learning my craft as a guitar player, and then that split up at the end of 1982, I think, which is when I started writing songs. And I had my first hit when I was 24. Now, let me get this right. No, I was 26 when I had my first hit.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was no spring chicken back then.
I Won't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. So that was a minor hit, and it was Wouldn't It Be Good that was the first huge hit.
Yeah, that's correct. We released it. I Won't Let the Sun Go Down on Me in September, I think, of '83, and it got my name around, and it got me introduced to various radio stations and record shops and stuff like that. I did a tour of those with it, so it kind of put my name about. I think that wasn't unusual back then when record companies actually built careers. So they it didn't have to be all or nothing straight away. It was that was considered at the time to be a pretty fair start, and then it paved the way for Wouldn't It Be Good when it came out in the January of the '84.
Can you tell me about the guitar sound on Wouldn't It Be Good? Because it's quite unique in a way.
I'm not sure it's unique. I kind of when we first started recording it, because I don't think I made a demo, or if I made a demo, there were no guitars on it.
Right.
So when I first started playing those guitar chords, there's a major seventh in the first chord, and that can be quite difficult to voice with a distorted guitar sound because the harmonics clash with each other. It could be quite an unpleasant racket. So being a Brian May fan, I pulled a leaf out of his book and just did the guitar orchestra thing and just did one over one note at a time. But I think there are about 12 overdubs on that sound. So that's why it sounds so thick and lush.
These were the days when there were budgets for huge pop videos, and Wouldn't It Be Good was a great example and quite a unique way in terms of that. It's kind of a white suit effect that you had.
Yeah, that would be easily done in anybody's bedroom with a bit of green screen nowadays. But back then it was quite revolutionary. It was a stuff called Scotch tape, which we found out later you could actually get in material. So we could have made the suit out of it, but in actual fact, we just made a calico suit and we stuck tape to it. And it just basically reflected light back into the camera. So when you re-edited it, you had something you had a transparent piece of film that you could put something behind. It's all quite basic and crude, but quite a thing for the time.
you have a lot of material for that in terms of those first few albums? Because the gap between your first album and the Riddle seemed to be almost no time at all.
Yeah, well, I had a fair amount for the first album, or I at least had enough songs for the first album, along with a couple of B-sides. But when it came to make the second album, I had one one song, so I literally had about 2, maybe 3 weeks to write 9 songs, which I kind of just about managed to do. I don't know how I did it, and it's not something I could achieve or get even close to nowadays. But yeah, I wrote most of those songs in that 2-week period.
And the Riddle, with its almost stream of consciousness lyrics, was that a deliberate intention to have it that way?
It was just basically because it was the last song I wrote, and it was I remember the producer coming over to my house. I think we were in the studio the next week or the following week to listen to what I'd got for the album, and he went away basically saying, well, he couldn't hear a first single, which is what he was supposed to say because he's the producer. So I went upstairs, and I'd had this tune in my head for a while. I've been listening to a band called the Body Band, which was an Irish traditional band who were absolutely amazing for the time. So I've been listening to a lot of Celtic music. For some reason, that tune was just bombing around in my head. So I quickly wrote the tune and made some kind of demo with it. But in order to demonstrate it, I wrote the stream of consciousness lyric, just basically to just kind of identify the rhyming scheme and the way the rhythm of the words and how they were going to sound. We went to the studio and we put a guide vocal down with these words, and I did attempt a couple of times to rewrite it, but it never sounded right. I think everybody got so used to the other words, they just sat there and sounded right. So anything else I put in there was just wrong. So we just kept it like it.
There's videos on YouTube breaking down the Riddle musically, highlighting a more complex nature than quite a number of pop material that was released at the time.
Yeah.
If you agree with that, do you think it was the grounding that you had musically in groups before you were a solo artist?
Yeah, probably. I listened to a fair amount of jazz fusion, and a lot of music where there were no kind of constraints or parameters or restrictions as to what you could do. You know, if the tune, I always follow the tune. So if the tune's going somewhere and it takes me somewhere else harmonically, you just let the keys and the chords change with it, you know, and I've always kind of worked like that. It never dawned on me that actually that was something quite unusual for the pop world until people started pulling me up on it and said, you know, this is not normal. And but you know, others have done it in the past. And if you listen to I don't know, a bloody ELO record or a Jeff Lynne got about a bit in chord wise, and obviously you go back to the days of the 50s and the 40s and Irving Berlin, Cole Porter, all those guys. There were never those kind of constraints, so you could just follow the melody. So that's kind of what I did, as I said, and I didn't realize I was doing anything weird until someone pointed it out.
At the same time, you've done an album, No Frills, solo acoustic, where that's an example of where you would pare things back.
Yeah, it's interesting doing that to songs because, you know, I thought I've always been big on production and kind of messing about in studios and making things sound as good as I can make them sound. And it's difficult to know sometimes the line between production and songwriting, you know, whether a piece of music is great because of the production or it's great because the song's good. It's a good test of a song, really, is if you can sit down with an acoustic around a campfire and perform it and it still connects.
I got 2 strong arms, blessings of Babylon, time to carry on and try for sins and false alarms. So to America the brave, wise men saved near a tree by a river. There's a hole in the ground where an old man of iron goes around and around, and his mind is a beacon in the veil of the night. For a strange kind of fashion, there's a wrong and a right, but he'll never fight over you. I got plans for us, nights in the scullery days. Instead of me, I only know what to discuss. Oh, for anything but light. Wise men fighting over you. It's not me you see. Pieces of Valentine and just a song of mine to keep from burning his story. Seasons of gasoline and gold. Wise men fall near a tree by a river. There's a hole in the ground where an old man of iron goes around and around, and his mind is a beacon in the veil of the night. For a strange kind of fashion, there's a wrong and a right, but he'll never, never fight over you. I got time to kill. Sly looks in corridors without a plan of yours. A blackbird sings on Bluebird Hill, thanks to the calling of the wild, wise men's child. Near a tree by a river, there's a hole in the ground where an old man of iron goes around and around, and his mind is a beacon in the veil of the night. For a strange kind of fashion, there's a wrong and a right, but he'll never, never fight. Near a tree by a river, there's a hole in the ground where an old man of iron goes around and around, and his mind is a beacon in the veil of the night. For a strange kind of fashion, there's a wrong and a right, but he'll never, never fight over you. Oh, oh, oh. No, he'll never, never fight over you.
You've collaborated with a few of the guys that have been in Genesis over the years, like Tony Banks, as well as more recently Steve Hackett. And there's a great version of The Lamia from Lamb Lies Down on Broadway there. Can you tell us about the influence of Genesis on you and some of those collaborations with Tony and Steve?
Yeah, I was a mad Genesis fan from Foxtrot onwards, I think, really. Especially, obviously, the Peter Gabriel days. In fact, one of the first gigs I ever went to was, big gigs I ever went to was Lamb Lies Down on Broadway at Wembley Arena. So that was a very important album for me, quite a seminal album for me. So when Steve Hackett gave me a call and said, "Look, do you want to sing one of these? I'm doing Genesis Revisited. What song would you fancy singing?" And I just thought, well, I loved that particular song, The Lamia, not really understanding how difficult it was going to be to sing. And then, of course, he put the whole thing together, and it came to it. I didn't get a chance to sing it until he sort of sent me the track, and I then when attempting to sing it, I realized how difficult it was, because Gabriel's vocals were all, there's a huge range, and it's a tricky thing, and the lyrics are very difficult to remember as well. I point out, but then with the worst thing was we got to do two shows as well. One at Hammersmith Apollo, so I'm stood there faced with about 3,500 hardened prog fans, most of whom were quite dubious about my presence there. And that was quite nerve-wracking. And I just praying I wouldn't mess up. And fortunately, I didn't. But yeah, that was great. Lovely, a real honor to be involved in that. And Tony was earlier, really. In fact, because I'd stopped writing from about 1989 onwards until about 1998, or stopped recording.
Yeah.
And he just called me up at the blue. I'm not even very sure how he got my number in the first place, but he called me up and said that he's doing a solo thing. Would I write some lyrics and do some vocals? And and I can't say no to someone from Genesis. So obviously, that was again a big privilege to have been able to do that.
The scent grows richer. He knows he must be near. He finds a long passageway lit by chandelier. Each step he takes, the perfumes change from familiar fragrance to flavor strange. Magnificent chamber meets his eye. Inside a long rosewater pool, he's shrouded in fine mist. Stepping in the moist silence, with a warm breeze he's gently kissed. Thinking he is quite alone, he enters the room as if it were his own. But ripples on the sweet pink water reveal some company unthought of. The rail stands astonished, doubting his sight, struck by beauty, gripped in fright. 3 vermilion snakes of female face, the smallest motion filled with grace. Muted melodies fill the echoing hall, but there is no sign of wanting in the siren's call. Real welcome, we are the happier of the world. We have been waiting for our artists to bring it through. Putting fear beside him, he trusts in beauty blind, slips into the nectar, leaving his shredded clothes behind. With their tongues they test, taste, and judge all that is mine. Move in a series of caresses that glide up and down my spine. As they nibble the fruit of my flesh, I feel no pain, only magic that a name would stain. With the first drop of my blood in their veins, their faces are convulsed in mortal pains. The fairest cries, we all have loved you real. Each empty snake-like body floats, silent sorrow in empty boats. A sickly sourness fills the room, the bitter harvest of a dying bloom. Looking for motion, I know I will not find. So
and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Steve Rothery.
Your solo work is almost in two phases. You've got the 80s and then you've got the material from the late 90s onwards from your album 15 Minutes. The title track of that is quite interesting. Was that a bit of a reflection on looking back to the 80s on the time that you had?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, obviously the famous quote is everybody gets 15 minutes of fame, which apparently Andy Warhol never actually said, but that's besides the point. So yeah, it was the fact that you because I had a good old stab at it, I had a big opportunity to make an impact, and but the problem is it all goes by so fast. You don't realize it's happening. You don't realize that everything you're saying and everything you're doing and every song you're writing and every TV appearance and everything, that's your legacy. It's going down that's, and if you don't get it right that time, you're not going to get another chance, or you probably won't get another chance. And typically I sold millions and millions and millions of records in that period, and everything I've done since, not so many millions. So, and I'd like to think that I've got better over the years and at my craft, because you learn stuff,
Yeah.
And you get more experience at things, and that's kind of the way it happens. But most people don't get to hear that because of the way the business works, and you get that one big chance at the beginning, and if you can keep it going, that's great. But if it kind of peters out, that's your legacy, is those few hits.
There's a song off that album as well, 15 Minutes, which is Billy, which is one of your best songs, which is almost a great example of some of your best work coming after that initial phase. Can you tell us a bit more about the writing of that? Was that something that you had to work over time on, or is it something that came quickly?
That came quite quickly, which is, I mean, sometimes the good ones do. I mean, you can sit in front of a blank sheet of, a blank word processor or whatever, trying to think of words and trying to think of a rhyme for this and a rhyme for that. And sometimes it just doesn't come, or you can't get the rhythm of it right or anything. And this, I think I wrote the words in about 2, maybe 3 hours, which for me is extraordinary. And the words just kept coming, and you're looking for the right meaning. There's so many different things that got to be right. There's got to be you've got to find the right word. It's got to have the right amount of syllables. It's got to have the right meter to it, so it kind of sits in the song right. It's got to be easy to sing. It's got to mean the right thing, and it's got to rhyme with the thing. Two words. There's so many things. The chances of it being the right word are pretty small, and the words just kept coming, and then a word had come into my head, and I said, "That's perfect. That fits perfectly, and it says exactly what I want to say." And that doesn't happen very often. So, but I think that's why it turned out so well, is that it did come very easily. Yeah.
Billy is a new man. He does the best he can to figure out what it's about, what the hell he's meant to be. He does the right thing when expected, enough respect. Once in a while he likes to smoke and a joke, just as long as it's PC. And he thinks that he cries at the movies, 'cause he's in touch with his feminine side. Sally wants a proud man. Sally wants a proud man. Sally wants a proud man, but she's taken all his pride. Billy is a new man, at least when she's around. A model father, or if needed, he'll be mother for the day. He watches men behaving badly, though he'll gladly switch it off if she's offended. He'll pretend it wasn't funny anyway. He's got one face he keeps for his woman, and one for when he's out with the guys. Sally wants a true man. Sally wants a true man. Sally wants a true man, but he's living out a lie. Better go and find an analyst or something. Time for sorting out his head. Better go and find a book to read about it, just like his daddy never did. Yeah. And he reads Marie Claire at the doctor's, just in case there is something he should know. Sally wants a free man. Sally wants a free man. Sally wants a free man, but she will not let him go. Billy is confused, he feels abusive and abused. He's got his one hand on an olive branch, the other on his crutch. He drives a sensible coupe. He thinks oasis are okay. He drinks non-alcoholic lager, though he'd rather have a scotch. And he tries very hard to be happy, but there's a few little things in the way. 'Cause Billy wants a good girl and a bad girl and a blonde girl and a brunette and a Bond girl and a housemaid and a tease maid and a French maid, yeah, a sex aid and a goddess and a confidant and a witness and an agony and a lover, mother, babysitter, a young girl with a pretty face and smart but not too smart to love an asshole, yes, an asshole. Billy wants to be an asshole, singing Billy wants it all now. Billy wants it all now. Billy wants it all now, but he's too ashamed to say. Sally wants a Superman. Sally wants a Superman. Sally wants a Superman. She hasn't got a chance.
There's a song of yours called Die Laughing, which has got some great lyrics. Was it the wasp in the jam, the nail in the car park?
Yeah.
There's a bit of humour at times. Is that something you aim for?
Yeah, I do. I do. But I can't. I think I probably, one of my crimes in the back in the 80s when I did have that success is I might have taken myself a little too seriously. Although I don't think I did, but you look at old interviews and old, and I'll look at those lyrics and think and say, yeah, it was all a bit intense and a bit self-important. So yes, I do. I like to take the piss out of myself and then pretty much everybody else who deserves it as well. So yeah, humor's really important to me. It kind of, it's a great way of delivering a message as well. Any comedian will tell you that. So I like the humor. I mean, I'm writing some words for a book that's coming out in at the back end of next year, hopefully, which is just words about every song on every album that I've done, and some are just random thoughts. But the most important thing to me is to make it good to read and funny, and make people laugh and think about, because it makes people think about what I'm talking about much more. It connects so well with people.
He's the wasp in the jam, he's the dad at the party, the trash in the beauty spot. He's the cloud in the sky, he's the fly in the ointment, the nail in the parking lot. Let's give the man a hug and put him out to grass. Feel sorry for the bug, the one that's up his ass. We're pulling out the plug, we're turning on the gas, we're turning on the gas. And he don't like sunshine, and he don't like ice cream, and he don't like sunrise, and he don't like dancing, yeah, he don't like dancing. He's the frog in the throat, he's the spot on the forehead, the crack in the window pane. He's the leak in the boat, he's the weed in the rose bed, the truck in the outside lane. So get the kids along, fill him up with love, and sing a happy song, yeah, really piss him off. 'Cause everything is wrong, nothing's good enough, it won't be good enough. And he don't like sunshine, and he don't like ice cream, and he don't like sunrise, and he don't like dancing, and he don't like your face, and he won't touch
About 12 years ago, there was a great single of yours called The Sky's the Limit. It's an example of a really big, bold song, which has got a bit of an epic nature. Is that something that sometimes you really decide to sort of push out the stops and create something on a grander scale?
Again, I don't know how much deciding goes on. It just kind of, some songs just turn up or they don't, and that one just came out a certain way. And I kind of, in fact, most of the time I shy away for any song that can be kind of thought of as any kind of torch song. Or I hope there's nothing pompous about that song, because there's a fine line between those kind of lyrics and just saying something pompous. But no, I didn't go out of my way to write a song about anything really, other than those words fit that particular, where you start quite often is just like a few notes and a few words, and that tune came into my head, and the words "the sky's the limit" came into my head, and I thought, that's not a particularly original thing to say, "the sky's the limit." What am I talking about? What is this about? And at the time my daughter was quite young, and I was thinking about, because she literally couldn't make a decision between whether she wanted to watch Dora the Explorer or Crazy Town or whatever. And I knew in a few years' time she'd have to be making decisions about her life and whether to take Latin or physics for GCSE and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of, it's that little golden period in a child's life when absolutely anything's possible. It could go in any direction whatsoever.
You could be a writer, fisherman or fighter. You could be the jewel in the crown. You could be a leader, doctor or a diva. You could be the talk of this town. You could be designer, major or a minor. You could be a game show host. You could drive your race car, president or pop star. You could be the first past the post. You could be amazing, fun
Is your most recent album, is that Oxymoron? Is that
Yeah.
there's a from Cloudy Bay to Malibu. I like the way that you've used references to drinks, but also got the geographical nature
Yeah.
in there, which
Yeah.
provides a bit of a twist.
Yeah, it's basically the premise is that there's some guy, his missus or his girlfriend has just left him, and he's wandering out into the night to try and find her, or just to, and he ends up in a bar drowning his sorrows, and he goes on a trip around the world, and through the medium of alcohol and all these different drinks. It's obviously Malibu, and Cloudy Bay is a place in New Zealand where particularly nice Sauvignon Blanc comes from. And all that. So I just thought, having those two words in it, I thought, well, what if I could do the whole song with just through bits, alcohol, and I managed to do it. So that was quite fun.
Given the passage of time since Oxymoron, are you working on new material?
You'd think, but I'm always, I keep finding things to distract me, and I am painfully aware that at the end of the year, I'm doing this anniversary tour, which is both albums, both the Riddle and Human Racing albums in their entirety. So I'm going to have to start planning that and routining that. And I've got, as I said, I've got this book that's coming out at the end of next year. And I'm doing anything but writing another album at the moment. But hopefully the muse will come back and along with my mojo, and there'll be another one.
Excellent. There's one key thing coming up which will prevent you from doing that is the 3 dates that you've got coming up in late June and mid-July. But all the best with them. And as we discussed at the start, it's a great showcase for your whole material and the post-98 material, which is just as good, if not better, than the material that you're known for in the 80s. So thank you.
Yeah. No, it's great, and it's great that there's an audience for it, and it's great that I can, I'm very proud of those songs, and it's great to be able to perform them to people and people not throw stuff. That's good.
Thanks so much for your time, Nick. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Jason. You too.
Bye bye.
Dynamic. Bye bye.
Can't believe that she is gone. Cannot believe that she is gone. She didn't stop to write an epitaph, or even think to leave a photograph. A photograph. He stumbles out into the night, won't let it go without a fight. He looks but cannot find her anywhere. Stops at a bar to drown his sorrows there. Yeah. Going all around the world, all around the houses too, from Cloudy Bay to Malibu, and all because the girl sent him all around the world. He knows it's probably her fault. He knows it from the single malt. Off to Long Island for some iced tea, then through Manhattan down to Tennessee to see Jackie D. He rides to Moscow on a mule, waves at the barman from his stool. They put the world to rights the best they can. Him and an old Milwaukee talkie man. Yeah, here's the plan. He'll go all around the world, all the way to hell and back, from Tequila stop, I found the way to her. All around the world, all around the houses too, from Cloudy Bay to Malibu, and all because the girl seen him all around the world, all the way to hell and back, from tequila to Armagnac, and all because the girl seen him all around the world. Through the airways our voices soar, from the past to the future we explore. With each episode a journey unfolds in the strange brew stories untold.